cold like ice, chill. Come over. I'm cold like ice, chill. Come over.
You have arrived to Offstage with DJ Law, bringing you the best local, regional, and international music genres with interviews and positive vibrations. Welcome to Offstage. I'm glad you can join us today. Offstage is a behind-the-scenes program to share the spirit of the music, experiences, and memories of the artist, especially in Arizona. And I'm here as your host, DJ Law, to showcase artists offstage to discuss things that would otherwise not be told. I'd like to welcome back my co-host, Ross Patrick, from the Rasta Farmers Chicano Band.
Greetings and love, bros. Good to be back.
Glad to have you back, Ross Patrick. Before I bring on Zarco Guerrero, the founding member of the Valley's favorite dance band during the 80s and 90s, Zum Zum Zum, I want to play one of their tunes called Querida Compañera.
Querida compañera, mi compañera, querida compañera, mi compañera. Ella está más linda que la luna llena y brilla más fuerte que el mismo sol. Es del movimiento la compañera y
Welcome, Zarco Guerrero.
All right.
How are you?
I'm great, man. Good to be here. So exciting.
It was nice to hear that song. I remember it from way back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Is that one of your original songs?
Yeah, that was actually it's probably one of the first real songs I ever wrote. Yeah.
And what got you to write that song?
Well, to tell you the truth, I barely learned how to play guitar. I only was playing a few chords, and then I met Carmen, and she taught me how to play guitar. So she taught me a few chords.
So what year was this? And what,
Oh, bro, it was like almost 50 years ago, man.
yeah.
And so she left, and she showed me a few chords, and all of a sudden, like that came up, querida compañera, yeah, compañera. And man, it just happened.
Is it something you developed, or you had the idea and then?
Well, the song kind of just, like I say, and every songwriter talks about those moments where all of a sudden a song comes to you. Other times it takes you years to put a song together. It finally gels, But yeah, that was like one of the first songs, and one of the first songs I started playing with around with my buddies. So we started adding more chords and voicings and stuff like that. And then Carmen became Charles Lewis's student, and I asked him to arrange some of the songs, and this is one of his arrangements.
And this song is from the band Zum Zum
Yeah,
Zum.
Zum Zum Zum. These are all the Zum 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 musicians.
And you are the one that formed the band?
Yeah, man. I put it together. Just came together, and like I say, I considered myself at the time like street musician, And but I kept meeting all these great artists like George Carrillo, Andy Gonzalez, that whole scene of Chicano artists. I was like, damn, I want to work with these guys. And so the band just came together little by little. We kept adding more and more elements.
And this song that you created, Querida Compañera, would you describe that more as a salsa?
It's a
or
cha-cha.
A cha-cha song.
Yeah. Salsa is cha-cha.
Yeah, it's a nice, fast, upbeat,
Yeah,
lively song.
exactly, yeah.
So, Zarco, where did you grow up?
I grew up right here in Mesa, Arizona, man, downtown Mesa, Arizona, where the police station is right now.
Oh, that's pretty close. That's ironic.
Yeah.
All right, where did your musical background come from?
That's funny, man. There was really no music no musicians. I grew up with I have older sisters, so of course I grew up with the music of the 50s and 60s. And then Mexican music, Tex-Mex, I'd hear in the street. The neighbors, you go outside and hear Little Joey La Familia, and so that music was always happening. That was like the street music. My house music was oldies but goodies that my mom sang along with all the time. So that was the house music. None of my friends were really musicians until junior high school.
And what school was that?
It was Carson Junior High.
Here in Mesa.
Here in Mesa. And so at that time, I met a few guys that were musicians, and I asked them if I could sing. And I don't know what we sang back then, Wooly Bully or something like that. but yeah, that's cuando me tocó, when I said, man, I think I could do this.
So what was your first instrument?
Well, it was guitar, but it wasn't until I was 23, 24. I was living in Mexico, and everybody played guitar. And it was real embarrassing because I didn't play nothing, Everybody, hey, toca una rola ese. And I'm like, well, I didn't know how to play. So I met Carmen, and I met her at a party. They gave her a guitar, busting all of this bossa nova and all these bizarre Brazilian chords. And I said, hey, teach me. Can you teach me how to play la bamba? So she showed me the 3 bamba chords. And that's all it takes. You learn 3 chords, man. You could become a rock star overnight, right?
100 songs.
Yeah. And so that's when she taught me the 3 chords, and then I started just playing every day. Biggest influence on my musical development was Daniel Valdez and his album Mestizo. And when I heard that album, man, it just it's all about Chicano ideology, and he was writing songs for Joan Baez, who's producing Carlos Santana. Brilliant songwriter and musician and actor. He was one of the producers of La Bamba.
Is he from here?
No, he's from. They're from California, and he's with Teatro Campesino.
Is he the one with the Zoot Suit movie?
Yeah, he's the one with the Zoot Suit movie. He was Frank. What was his name? Anyway,
Yeah.
Frank Arroyo or whatever. But that album, I bought that album, man, and I think I wore it out. I played it so often.
And that was back when you were in your 20s?
Yeah, that was before I started playing guitar. Actually,
Okay.
I fell in love with his music, and then I saw him perform. I lived in San Francisco, and I was in that whole. I lived in the Mission District, and on Sundays, Santana and Chapito and everybody would be at Dolores Park playing congas. And that was our Sundays at Dolores Park. And then I saw Teatro Campesino there. I saw Daniel perform a couple of times. But to me, he was like a star. I didn't even, they thought I was worthy of hanging out with him, you know. It was the same with Santana and Chapito. Those guys were already celebrities. I was just a young guy, like 17, about 18 actually. Little did I know that later on, Daniel would influence me to become a musician songwriter, and eventually we started working in theater productions together.
So I'm going to go back just a little bit
Yeah.
because your wife, I don't know if she was your wife at the time when she taught you those chords. Were you guys married at the time?
No, much later now.
Okay, so those chords that she taught you, and when you saw her, is that what caught your attention? Or
Well,
was
yeah.
she-
Well, that was one thing that attracted me to her.
I'm sure she was a beautiful woman.
Oh yeah, man, feisty and out of control.
Yeah, she's from Brazil.
She's
correct?
from Brazil, yeah. But she's
And your family is from Mexico?
well. I say we're from here when this was Mexico, because we never really immigrated. We migrated. See what I'm saying? So by the time my family was here, it was before statehood. This was still Mexico. So we're from Arizona, Mexico, right? But we have roots in Sonora and Durango. Yeah. Yeah, and so that's what I grew up with as a kid. My dad took me all over Sonora, so I felt sonorense, felt norteño. This was before Chicano came along. My dad made sure that I knew that I was un sonorense. It was important for him to know that. And then Chicano came along, and that made more sense.
And when you say Chicano came along and that made more sense to you, what do you mean by that?
Like, we were confused. Okay, my experience growing up was this. My father, my mother, my grandparents, they told us we were Americans. You're born in America. You're American. Because everybody made them feel like foreigners. And they knew that you're American. You're born here. You're not a foreigner. So we grew up thinking we're Americans. And then we go to school, and the white people will call us Mexicans. So it's like, what are we? Are we Mexicans? Are we gringos? What are we? And we weren't from Mexico. We weren't Mexicans because we weren't from Mexico. We barely spoke Spanish. We didn't have Mexican passports. We were born here, but we were never made to feel like we were Americans. We were always Mexicans. Dirty Mexicans, they called us, right? So when the word Chicano started to appear with the farm workers movement, all of a sudden, that's who we were. We were Mexican and we were American. We were Chicano. We were both. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From one day we had a identity crisis. The next day, that word, that concept, turned that crisis into an asset of value.
You're now a hybrid.
Right? A hybrid. Now all of a sudden we had an identity. See, we didn't have an identity. We didn't know who we were, right? But the word Chicano gave us an identity, and when you have identity, you have dignity. Because without dignity, you're a slave. You're lost. So we were found. We found ourselves in the Chicano movement.
Nice way of putting it. Back to Zum Zum Zum. Was that your main band?
That's right, yeah.
Earlier you mentioned that you would hear your mother singing at home.
Yeah.
Was she a singer?
No, she was more of a comedian. And her songs were more parodies what she was hearing on the radio. You know, she made up the lyrics, in other words.
Anybody else in your family that played instruments?
No,
or?
nobody in the family played instruments. My sister Teresa, we grew up doing duets of oldies. You know, like 50s songs.
Okay, so you discovered your voice.
Yeah, we sang together, and I remember we still do it today. I don't know if anybody remembers the song, but what was the song? Anyway, it'll come to me. But we do these duets as children, but then as teenagers, you grow apart. Yeah, didn't continue.
Well, I want to play another one of your songs from Zum Zum Zum. It's called Sooner or Later, and I hope the audience enjoys it.
Cool, right on.
Sound like a funky song there.
Yeah.
How would you describe that song?
Latin rock, I think. Yeah.
And is that something that you also came up with?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
And you mentioned the congueros.
Well, actually, yeah, because played with so many good musicians. This is Jambo Estrada and George Carrillo Jr. on drums.
Nice.
Yeah, and George was I used to first time I saw George was watching him perform on the Wallace and Ladmo show.
Wow.
I must have been about 10 or 11 or something, but so was he.
Wow.
And he used to come out on Wallace and Ladmo, this genius kid playing drums. Man.
Drums. Wow.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you right now?
I'm 72.
72.
Yeah.
You look very young.
Thank you, brother.
You're in shape.
Feel young.
That's good. So, were there any favorite artists of yours growing up that inspired you?
Well, of course, like I guess everybody, man. Al Green, I loved Al Green. Van Morrison, Santana. My favorite band of all times, Malo Dos.
And why do you really like Malo?
I don't know, man. It just speaks to me. It's like I love everything about it. It's so exciting. The horns, the arrangements, and
what was your favorite club that you played that just was the Glory Day Club?
Well, that was the Acapulco Bay Beach Club.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I remember going to 21. I was 21. I brought my now wife there, and taught her how to dance salsa. I remember you were doing the toot 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 toot. I mean, you were walking on the table and you almost hit the fan.
Oh yeah.
that was above. It was crazy. It was a fun. We were there every Friday.
Yeah, those were the pre-AIDS. There was no AIDS back then. So it was a different reality, man. Because when AIDS hit, then everything started changing, man.
Everybody used to be friendly, and then they were not no more.
What do you got?
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, Malo, man. I loved Malo. I loved the diversity of songs, man. They, from heavy hitting rock and roll to beautiful ballads and instrumentals, the vocals, everything, man. It was a great band.
They are an awesome group. Zarco, how would you describe Zum 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 style of music?
Yeah. Well, first of all, what made us unique when we came on the scene, I had lived in Brazil for almost a year. And so, man, I was fascinated with Brazilian music, especially Brazilian percussion and samba. So I got introduced to Brazilian percussion and samba, and then, of course, Carmen being back in her homeland, and she started playing all those Brazilian songs she grew up playing, started working on her chops, and she had a piano. So because I was getting playing every day, just practicing, so it encouraged her to do the same thing. And so before you know it, she was teaching me more guitar, all those Brazilian chords, and I wanted to learn all the songs that I was down to, with all the hit songs, So by the time we came back to the U.S., we had a whole repertoire of Brazilian music. And we come to Arizona and come to find that there's other musicians here trying to do Brazilian carnival, trying to put together a band. So at that time, there was a band called Samba Novo or something like that, Artie and Al. And they were, great musicians as well. And there was a Brazilian guy here in town, Zé de Pontes, who was a wonderful Brazilian percussionist. So we came together with them and we started doing a Brazilian Carnaval, 4 hours of Brazilian music. And so we did that. We played for the Brazilians for many years. Artie and Al left and formed their own band, so we continued to Zum 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 as a Brazilian batucada band, samba band. And then we started meeting all these other musicians, Ralphie Chavarria, Abel Valentino, and they wanted to jam the Brazilian thing. Well, we wanted to do more, go into the Latin thing that they knew a lot, so we gelled. And we became that more Latin sound, hybrid Latin sound. course, we all loved reggae at the time too, so we wanted to put some of that in there.
You do the samba, you do salsa,
We do salsa, yeah.
cumbia,
Cumbia, rancheras,
reggae.
boleros.
They kind of describe you, and I remember watching you guys. You guys were a high energy type of band.
Yeah.
And I remember after you guys would perform at the Acapulco Beach Bay Club, you guys would do like I never seen it before, but you would start leading with some sort of drum,
Yeah.
and then people would follow you in a line, and everybody would have a percussion instrument.
Yeah. The batucada is called.
Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
batucada, yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
I had a good
yeah,
time with
and
that
nobody had seen that before, but here in the valley.
Yeah, and then the second time I saw it was when Ozo Motley did it.
Yeah, years later.
Yeah, years, way long time later.
But they did it more like a pep band. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like the pep band that you see in the stadium or whatever. They didn't do, they kind of did Batucada, but they were doing more like high school pep band.
Yeah, it was more of a marching band thing, and then I think later on it turned into the batucada.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I must say that we were ahead of our time in that sense. Not only that, we were writing bilingual lyrics, trying to speak the way that the Chicanada spoke, because again that was part of the identity of defining as who we are as Chicanos, and how we fit into this Latino mix or whatever.
Well, I'm going to play, since we've been talking about Batucada style music, I'm going to play one of your songs called Batu Crazy.
There you go.
And I had never heard it before. I was surprised that you actually had a CD. I never knew that you guys had a CD out.
Yeah.
And it's my understanding you guys are working on another one.
Yeah. Well, actually, we put it out as a cassette tape. By the time the whole CD came out thing, we were already kind of retiring from the band. So we didn't really take it to the next level. But yeah, this is out. We want to remaster it, put it out there. And then we got a new album coming out of 8 new songs, produced by Sergio Mendoza from Tucson. And those are songs written back then and then during the COVID times.
Wow, I can't wait to hear that one. Meanwhile, I'm going to play Batu Crazy by Zum Zum Zum.
Cool.
like grooving right now on this beautiful, hot Sunday
I need a
afternoon.
margarita, bro.
That was a great song.
Yeah.
So, Zarco, do you have any musical heroes or people that have influenced you? You mentioned some artists earlier during the show, but I'm not sure if you have other musical heroes.
Well, I'd like to, pay homage to all those Zum Zum Zoomers that came into, because we were never just one band. The personnel changed throughout the years. Joey Navarro, of course, was a real young cat.
I didn't know he played with you.
Yeah, man. He produced a number of the songs. We went to Japan together, Joey and I. We performed in Japan.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I was talking to Rudy Favela from Mr. Submarine.
Yeah.
And he said he played guitar for you too.
Yeah, Rudy was also, man. He went to Washington, D.C. with us to play at the National Hispanic Heritage Month, stuff like that. Went on tour, went on the road. With Rudy, with Joey, we went to Miami, played on Sábado Gigante.
Wow.
With Joey and Johnny and Donna and Hey John. Híjole, man, we had
What year was that?
Quién sabe, bro. That was Jose Ronstadt's doing. Jose Ronstadt got us set up on Sábado Gigante as el grupo del momento from Arizona. So, Joey Navarro, Rudy Favela, the Chavarrias, Ernie and Ralphie Chavarria, Jimmy Benavides, a wonderful drummer, Johnny Sandoval. Ooh, so many of them. Jambo, Felix Sainz, Pete Torciello, who's now playing with us again, Pete Torciello. And his son is our drummer now.
Oh, wow.
And Zum Zum Zum. And we have Hey John's back, the gorgeous, vivacious, vibrant bass player. She's back. Beth Liederman on keyboards, and Jambo, Carmen playing vibes and accordion again, and
nice.
Yeah, so yeah, what's funny is it was really the my being so impressed and infatuated with all these local musicians and the talent that was out there, and I just saw myself as I needed that. I needed that kind of energy, that kind of talent, and just kind of helped, provided the space, got the gigs, tried to keep the money coming in, and just got better and better and better. And of course, all the other bands at that time, look at Power Drive, man. Them guys have been out there forever. They still inspire me, man. I see those guys, I say, damn, these guys are still doing it, and they sound good. So it's like, that's what we need. I feel like, I believe more than ever now, the power that music has to enrich our lives. We're living in hard times, man. We need medicina.
Yeah.
And that's what we are. Us veteranos, us older guys, we're like the musicians. We're like the shamans.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Speaking of that, I know you're an artist. I've followed your art for a long time and been inspired, for my own art, and being a musician. How the two come together in your life?
Well, they worked out good when we had the band Zum Zum Zum, because the music was night, so I had all day to do my artwork. And the artwork was really my focus. Music was always kind of like a side gig, But my day job was my art. I consider myself a sculptor, a painter. But oddly enough, I made a living doing theater. And I created a show with my masks where I do a mask performance. And I put on masks, I become different characters. Yeah. And I tell different stories. And I started doing that, just playing with my kids, making them laugh, entertaining my kids, And before I knew it, I had a show that I could present at schools. So, here we're struggling with Zum Zum Zum, trying to find gigs. It's stressful. And here I could, in those days, there was money for arts in the schools. That no longer exists.
Yeah.
So I could make more money in 1 hour performing in the schools than the whole band made for 4 hours of playing a gig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to work with nobody. I work by
Fully independent.
Fully independent, man. So that like gave me a way out. And at that time, yeah, I wanted to go out when the band was good.
If I remember, you had mentioned to me that his lifestyle, the way he's doing it, kind of inspired you to do the same thing.
Oh, both me and my wife, you know, we kind of like followed in their pattern, you know what I mean? And then I became more of a musician, and then she became more of an artist, you know, and now, you know, it's what we do full time.
Well, you know what I think, like, generalize, Chicano artists, the other guys, Daniel Valdez, all those Teatro Campesino, they showed us that you could be a musician, and you could be a muralist, and you could be a poet.
An author.
Yeah, because we were inspired by this, by our history, by our culture. It was all new, man. It was exciting. You know, I remember when Rasta farmers, we were going for a gig, and they said, well, we hired these cats, Rasta farmers. Oh, man, we wanted that gig. So we went and saw Rasta farmers, and man, these guys are bad. You know, it's a nice band. So we realized that there was, you know, room for all of us. And then I realized Patrick was a very talented painter as well. So yeah, we followed. We're giving each other, we're role models for each other, I think.
Well, you guys are role models for me, for sure.
Oh, right on, bro.
And it's an honor to have you here, Zarco, and Patrick, of course. I'm going to play another song from Zum Zum Zum. It's a corrido called La Finiquera.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with that, given that you're from Mesa?
Well, I'm from Mesa, but La Finiquera, that's the play. That was the epicenter of the Chicano movement at that time.
Cruising Central and all that.
Yeah. And I was always doing work in Phoenix. All the gigs were in Phoenix, La Finiquera. And I think that this song helped made it part of our verbiage, our lexicon.
Sounds
La
good.
Finiquera, yeah.
Well, let's hear it.
Let's do it.
¡Hey! ¡Épale, chiquitita! ¡Ay, que mi vida loca! I wanna sing a corrido a ti, mi pueblo querido. Talking about la loquera de nuestra La Finiquera. Here in the state of Arasa, the streets are full of lowriders, cruising el Valle del Sol, being firme and taking it slow. Somos todos hermanos, latinos, indios, chicanos, y por eso celebramos nuestra gran amistad. The Pecos, they claim we're all gangsters, but we know education's the answer. Unidos we'll build el futuro, venceremos, te lo juro. Somos todos hermanos, latinos, indios, chicanos, y por eso celebramos
Is that George on the drums?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
He was hilarious, man. We talk about him all the time at rehearsal. Everybody has George Carrillo stories to tell. Yeah, he was amazing.
Well, that was a nice corrido. You mixed it with the English and
Yeah.
the traditional norteño beats.
Right.
At home, you talked about you would listen to music that your mom would play.
Mm-hmm.
What type of music was that?
Well, it was my sister's music. Teenage sisters who were
Well, how
older
many
than-
brothers and sisters?
I got
did you-
4 older sisters. Yeah, and they were into Frankie Avalon, Brenda Lee, all those old beautiful old songs from the 50s. Sang beautifully, and so my sisters walk around singing. I would sing. My mom would do her interpretation. So that was basically it. But there was no piano, no guitar, nothing in the house.
And are you the youngest?
The youngest, yeah. I'm talking about the musicians, and I got to mention Enrique Cesena, bass player who played with us for a long time, a wonderful musician, and really contributed a lot to the sound of Zum Zum Zum.
What did he play?
He was a bass player, but he had so much experience and in all different styles of playing that I think he really helped.
Nice. Well, there's another 2 songs I want to play, and I believe you mentioned to me that they were composed by Joey Navarro, one called Morena and one called Mas. Is that correct?
Well, I wrote the songs, and Joey and I we got a gig in Tokyo for a month as a duo, and so we went to Tokyo, and we had this gig in Japan, and I had written these 2 songs. Actually, it was 4 songs, and Joey was getting his producer chops together and learning, I guess, sequencing at that time. He had a sequencer. I can't remember what it was. It was a brand new little toy that he had, to help him arrange and write the tunes. So that's what we did during the day. So we do the gig at night, and during the day when we weren't running around eating sushi, would sit in these little tiny rooms that we had and play music together. It was a wonderful experience.
That's nice. Well, let's hear it.
Yeah.
It's called Morena.
Morena, quemadita del sol vas bailando y yo loquito esperando poquitito de tu dulce amor. Morena, ah, mira qué sonrisa, qué mirada. Yo quiero ser tu camarada y expresar la vida en mi canción. Y siempre adentro de mi pensamiento yo te deseo cada momento y me gustas más cuando cae el sol. Como tu cuerpo no hay nada que me excita más el corazón. Morena, a ti estoy cantando y aún despierto estoy soñando ser el objeto de tu pasión. Y siempre adentro de mi pensamiento yo te deseo cada momento. Y me gustas más cuando cae el sol. Y me gustas más cuando cae el sol. Y me gustas más cuando cae el sol. Hazte para acá, morenaza. Qué cosa más linda, como me encanta. Te doy mi corazón con todo mi cariño. Tú eres mi amor, yo soy tu destino.
Morena, yo te quiero.
Quemadita del sol vas bailando, yo lo quito esperando.
Morena, yo te quiero.
Mira qué sonrisa, qué mirada, quiero ser tu camarada.
Yo te quiero.
Cabello negro, piel bronceada, como tu cuerpito, bebé, no hay nada, no hay nada. No más a ti estoy cantando y aún despierto estoy soñando. Estoy soñando, estoy soñando.
That was great. So I'm going to do another one with you and Joey Navarro. It's called Mas.
Yeah.
And you composed it, right?
Right, I composed
But
it.
he helps you develop it? Or?
Well, no, he arranged it. And on this song, Johnny Sandoval is playing drums, and he did the percussion arrangements there. And Rudy Favela's on guitar.
On this song, Mas?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it. I hope the audience enjoys it.
De lo que tienes, baby, eso quiero yo. Esas cositas del amor, de tu sabrosura para gozar, de ese ritmo para bailar. Con guitarra en la mano voy cantando a mis hermanos de América Latina, una música tan linda. Ven acá a bailar conmigo, quiero ser tu grande amigo, con la raza, con el mundo, un amor tan profundo Yo quiero libertad, nuestra amistad, justicia social, el mundo bien capaz, más entendimiento, buenos sentimientos, el mundo mundo limpio y puro, la promesa del futuro, el ritmo bien caliente, compartirla con la gente. Yeah.
Man, I love those percussions, congas and bongos. And who's playing that?
Johnny Sandoval, man, he did put that all together. And I still love that piece. I listen to it constantly.
Wow, loved it. I'm going to play another song. This one's a reggae song, and it kind of fits because Ross Patrick's here with the Rasta Bombers. And when I listened to it the other day, I had no idea you did reggae.
He was blown away by the versatility of you guys.
Yeah.
You're all over the place. So I'm going to play this song called Your Love is a Dinosaur. Can you tell me what that song is about?
Sure, I don't know. It's just a huge feeling of love that you have for somebody that's it's so big, it's overpowering. It's hard to believe. It's almost dangerous at some time, you know. So the metaphor of a dinosaur came to mind, and like I say, I was influenced by what was going on at that time. We hung around with Walt Richardson a lot. We did a lot of gigs with Walt back to back, and but, you know, these guys as well. So, you know, you love what everybody's doing, and they influence you. So reggae just kind of popped up, and these crazy lyrics appeared, and Pete Torciello was my guitar player, and I said, man, rip it to shreds, bro. And he does.
Well, here is Your Love is a Dinosaur by Zum Zum Zum.
Awesome, my emotions seem to blossom every time I hold you near. I get oh so frantic, cause your love is so gigantic. I'm almost overcome by fear. I'm your slave and you're my master. There's potential for disaster. It's just something I just can't explain. Your kisses are driving me crazy. Sometimes I think that maybe I may never be the same. Oh, your love is a dinosaur. Your love is a dinosaur. I'll never understand the attention you demand. You always seem to ask for more. I feel so elated, but you're never satiated. You want my body, mind, and soul. You get so excited, and I'm just so delighted. You seem like a dream to me. Our love's a celebration, an artistic inspiration. I want the whole world to see. Oh, your love is a dinosaur. Hey, I said your love is a dinosaur. And it seems to me that we were meant to be for all eternity. Our love is destiny. You fill my life with magic. The results are often tragic, but I can only blame myself. I pay no one else attention. Your name is all I mention. I'll never love nobody else. You make me feel heroic. Our love is prehistoric. It should be in the history book. No one can compare. They all just stop and stare. They gotta take a second look. Whoa, your love is a dinosaur. Yeah, baby, Tyrannosaurus, man. Your love is a dinosaur. I feel so fantastic. I must do something drastic to keep you, baby, close to me. Is this fascination an hallucination, or is it a reality? I'll never understand the attention you demand. You always seem to ask for more. I feel so elated, but you're never satiated. You want my body, mind, and soul. Whoa, your love is a dinosaur. Yes, mama. I said your love is a dinosaur. And it seems to me that we were meant to be for all eternity. Our love is ecstasy. You make me feel like a caveman, woman.
Love that song. And I'm a little partial because I love reggae. I'm in a reggae band, but that was nice.
Oh,
really
right.
nice. So you have a show coming up, I understand. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
man.
Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, we have a nonprofit organization, Culture Coalition. We do 6 festivals throughout the year. Our big one being the Mikishli, the Day of the Dead. That's be coming up in October. But we're doing a fundraiser at the Crescent Ballroom September 17th. And it's going to be a great night because we got the band Zum 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 back together, a lot of the original members, and everybody's real excited about the music, about being together, about the energy that's being created. We found this fantastic band called Medio Pinto from Venezuela, and man, they blew my mind. So we want to bring them we want to turn everybody onto them, and of course we got the Rasta Farmers. Everybody loves the Rasta Farmers. So we want everybody to come out, support the cause, support local music, and help Culture Coalition to raise the money that we need to pay all of our other artists who are primarily youth mariachis, youth ballet folclóricos. La cultura cura. And we believe that our culture is our medicine. That's what heals us. So we got to keep that happening, man. So it's happening, and we need everybody's support.
So it's important that people buy the tickets online ahead of time.
Buy up the tickets, man, and as much as you can, bring your friends and family for all audiences. And I think they're going to have it divided for under 21.
Oh, all ages, mean?
Yeah, all ages, man. So there's no
Bring the family.
Yeah, bring the fam.
It's $20 online, and at the door it's $25. So it's better to get it online if you can do that.
Yeah.
Is there a DJ too?
Yeah, there usually is. We have a DJ. I'm not sure who that is at this point. Yeah.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah, it's good. And it's La Calaca Cafe. So it's all about, we decorate it with Dia de los Muertos, all our puppets and dances and characters and stuff. It's a fun event, man.
I went last year and I had a good time.
It's like a festival.
Yeah, it's more like a festival, man. You get to meet a bunch of people you didn't met before. A lot of younger musicians are coming.
And the reuniting of everybody, too.
Oh, yeah, man, yeah.
We're gonna need all the percussion help we can get for Rasta Farmers Sake. You guys are nothing but percussion. It's like,
yeah, it's gonna be good. It's the beginning of something new, I think.
You can purchase the tickets for La Calaca Cafe that's going to be held at the Crescent Ballroom by going to Ticket Web and typing in Calaca Cafe Crescent Ballroom. It's for a good cause, and I hope to see you all there.
Right on.
Thank you for coming, Zarco Guerrero.
Hey, thank you for having me, bro.
Zum, zum, zum. Zum, zum, zum. Zum, zum, zum. Zum, zum, zum.
For those that joined us, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and we'll be back with another episode of Offstage with DJ Law.
I'm cold like ice, chill. Come over. I'm cold like ice, chill. Come over.
You've been listening to Offstage with DJ Law. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, spread the word. And don't forget to also spread positive vibration.